Hey everyone, my name's Chris Lambert, and on this channel we talk Kanye West, and today we're going to go over all of Ye's Instagram posts for February 18th. There were a number of them, and we're involved, which if you've seen the previous videos, you already know, but there was a lot of information here, and just seemed like a good thing to go through. So he started off 22 hours ago, which would have been 4 a.m., saying this post from J. Cole, saying, "Thank you for this, Kanye West, Cootie Rock. Phenomenal, vulnerable, powerful, sad, inspirational, insightful, wonderful, masterful, grateful to have watched." Of course, J. Cole is talking about Genius Part 1, the Netflix Kanye documentary that came out just the other day. It's been getting pretty much universal praise. We're just now less than a week away from Part 2 dropping, which continues where Part 1 was in the making of the college dropouts. In Part 1, you focus more on Ye arriving in New York and trying to get his deal as a rapper, not just a producer. And you end with that happening, like him getting the Rockefeller chain. And then Part 2 moves more formally into the college dropout. And then Part 3, which, is talked about as a controversial part, but it was my favorites. But I'm also a Yeezus superiority kind of person, so if that tells you anything about my my tastes. But J. Cole shouting this out is kind of a bigger deal because the last time we've really heard Cole talk about Ye was that stupid False Prophet song, which I know a lot of people really like. I think it's such an over dramatization of what Ye was going through in that first stanza or that first verse that Cole has. Like the rest of the song isn't about Ye, but that first verse is just taking, I think, a lot of exaggerated cheap shots from someone that didn't really know what was going on in Ye's life. I'll always have problems with that song and how often it gets brought up. And then it seemed like Middle Child, I think he was taking some shots. So there's been a little bit of tension between Ye and J. Cole over the years, with Ye calling it out at times, but also trying to squash it at times. And just to see Cole, who we know was a huge Ye fan for a long time, this must have really been getting back to some of that nostalgia for Cole as well. So Ye just saying that's love, family, with the prayer hands, which is exciting to see, and Cootie as well chiming in, which is awesome. And then for the second post, this comes from a post that I made at 4 a.m, having wrapped up all of the YouTube videos for the day. I was like, here's our YouTube videos for the day, and had a photo of all of it. And it apparently showed up on Ye's timeline since he follows us on Instagram, but he follows a ton of people, right? I mean, how many people are we looking at here? 7,206. So I don't expect anything that we post to ever show up in his feed, and yet that did. And this was a video that Travis made, and it was Genius Debuts #1 movie on Netflix. And you might be like, Chris, but it showed up as number 4 on Netflix, which is true, but the top 3 were series, right? Like TV shows. So this was the leading movie on Netflix, beating out all the feature films, all the other documentaries. So that's where the #1 movie comes from. But it's such a not great screenshot for declaring we #1 on Netflix, but it gets the point across and shows that Ye's a man of the people, right? And doesn't need it to be perfect. So here we have him shouting at Jack Harlow, this song called Nail Tech that was number 10 on trending for music. We know that Ye's a big YouTube person. So it seems like maybe he was listening to the song on YouTube and he goes, "This guy can rap, bro." And I'm saying, guy as a compliment, top 5 out right now, which is a huge compliment from Ye, just shouting out Jack Harlow like that. And Jack responded with, "One of the greatest moments of my life," which you can imagine, yes, that very much would be to have Ye shout you out in that way and praise what you've been doing, especially as Jack has been coming up for a few years now, been getting all this acclaim. Being on that song Industry Baby with Lil Nas X was really this giant song for both of them, but it really was a big deal for Jack Harlow as well, even though he still had a rising star. Having a song of that popularity was huge, and then to have Ye kind of shout him out in the aftermath as he's going into carving out the post-Industry Baby stuff, because a big song like that can be a real game changer in a positive way, but it's also a hard thing. It's always hard to follow up on momentum and to keep people interested. It's like, it's possible for like almost anyone to have like a hit, to have a moment, right? But to capitalize on that and chain moments together is much harder. So congrats to Jack. And then here we have this other post from Damien saying, please inform Ye that the Apple is no longer doing the sponsorship deal. And Kanye's like, duh. And the context of this, I think, is from a previous post he had made a few days ago that was talking about Apple and the Apple deal. He got rid of it, or else I'm just not clicking on the right one. But was it this one? Yeah, here. I turned down $100 million Apple deal, which I think was exclusivity for Donda on Apple. No one can pay me to be disrespected. We set our own price for our art. Tech companies made music practically free. So it just seems like this anti-streaming platform, especially with Ye not putting Donda 2 on platforms, right? Spotify, Apple, wherever, but using it on his own stem player. That moves Ye from an asset for Apple that they can use to profit from to competition. Because now he's no longer allowing them to take part in the music release. He's just like, I am in control of this, and you no longer have a say. I'm releasing the music through my own platform, and Apple's just like, we don't want to be involved in. And he's just like, yeah, duh. Like, we didn't want you here anyway, so go on home. And then here, you may recognize Kanye Podcast. We had asked like, hey, Ye, we'd love to interview you about movies. Akira, There Will Be Blood, Blade Runner, Matrix. Like Akira and There Will Be Blood, Ye tweeted a number of years ago that those were his two favorite movies. Akira, he's talked about for a long time, even going back to 2007 when he was making the Stronger music video. He just ripped a scene right from Akira. He's met with the Akira creator in Japan. He says it's like the most inspirational thing to him. And There Will Be Blood, he's talked about a little bit. And then Blade Runner, if you're watching Genius Part 1, there's at one point where he's wearing a Blade Runner shirt. And he had mentioned in 2020 that he was obsessed with Blade Runner 2049. Matrix is something that he has referenced a number of times, specifically about like the simulation, right? And waking up from the simulation. He talked about it in context of Erykah Badu. No, Lauryn Hill. And then Holy Mountain is another movie that he's talked about. It seemed to be a pretty big inspiration for both Yeezus and the album Ye, specifically the song Violent Crimes and like Reality Is Upon Us. To us was a reference to Holy Mountain and the very end of Holy Mountain, which is one of the craziest endings I've ever seen in a movie, which if you don't want any spoilers, I'll take my hands off my ears when I'm done. But at the end of the Holy Mountain, these like people go into this surreal world. It's kind of fantasy to search for immortality. And what they discover is the camera crew. And this guy being like, hey, you're in a movie. You need to wake up. This is stupid what you're doing. Like, just deal with the fact that reality is a thing and you can't get away from it. And starts pointing out all the cameras, pointing out all the crew. It's the most meta and bizarre thing and so phenomenally weird and interesting. So yeah, Ye likes that movie. But put one on and just analyze it and discuss. Film seems like such a big influence for you, but there's never been a focused interview about it. Let us know. So I wrote this just like, because I saw this other one, right? Like, oh, he saw this post from us. Maybe he'll see another one. Might as well like give it a go. And then like a couple hours later, he's just like, come to Miami. And now we're going to Miami. But it's the thing where like we're going, but we also don't know what will happen when we get there, right? It's the kind of thing where it seems like we are set for an interview. This is going to be this formal thing. We sit down with him. There's like a very good chance that we get there, try getting in contact with him. He's busy and it just doesn't happen. But we're going to try. We booked the plane tickets. We booked the hotel. We'll be down there. We have tickets to the concert. So coming together last minute, but it's come together. So we'll see what happens with that. But excited to be part of this day and excited that Ye's at least seemingly interested in this interview that Travis and I have been talking about having with him since 2015. And then here you can see his outfit. He said waves for Donda 2 show 2/22/22. And this seems to be the Batman costume he's going to be wearing for that event, which isn't too far off from what he has just been wearing in his day-to-day for the last like 6 months, last year. Black boots, black pants, black jacket, I'm guessing a black shirt. It's still that midnight aesthetic over there, but he already has the outfit picked out, so we'll see. Actually, for the Miami trip, I just ordered like black pants. I have some black shoes like over my shoulder that I'll wear, Yeezys, which I don't know if that's like a good thing. Like, should I be wearing Yeezys around Ye? Is that cheesy? Is it cheesy to wear Yeezys around Yeezy? Probably not, but I just ordered like some new black pants, a new black shirt. Oh man, the things that we do, but you want to fit in. And then here it's just like a picture with Pusha T, Ye, and Rick Owens. I'm guessing from Paris Fashion Week in January. So it just seems like something that came up, and he's just like, yeah, 3 goats. And we know like Ye's been pretty obsessed with Rick Owens for a number of years. And then here it's an updated, whatchamacallit. What do we call these things? Tracklist. It's an updated tracklist. I'm so sleepy. But adding stem versions of City of Gods. So when Ye posted the tracklist the other day, it's the same one, right? We still had the arrow for Close for Business coming up to sci-fi. We still had these markings on the side. I don't think 4D was there or whatever was here. So those are kind of new. Some people are speculating that the dashes were finished songs. I mean, it could be unfinished songs, but it would make more sense for it to be like, okay, these songs are complete. But 22 was blank. So it seemed like we were going to have 22 songs, but we didn't know what 22 was going to be. And Ye saying he's adding the stem version of City of Gods, which... Okay. City of Gods is cool. It seemed like it was destined for Fabio's album. But if it's being on both, right? Whatchamacallit? Donda 2 and Fabio's album, then cool. It's just like Tell the Vision. It's actually with the 3rd song in Ye's discography that's going to be on 2 albums at the same time. Slow Jams was the first one. And so we'll see. But it is interesting because it seems like not the song would expect to close out the album. But I do wonder what it means that it's like the stems version. I mean, obviously with the stem player, you can manipulate. I got my stem player right here. You can kind of slide along and manipulate what's happening. So like the vocals, the bass, the drums, some of the instrumentation, et cetera, et cetera. So you're going to be able to like mess around with City of Gods, but I don't know if that means that City of Gods is going to be like album, like main album, right? Is it going to be like the part 2s? We'll see. But Things Change. I'm still calling Things Change is going to be like the top song from this album. I have not heard a single thing about it. It's just like looking at the track list, that's the thing that jumps out to me. That's the song that I'm most excited about to be like, okay, is this the hype breaker? Is this the one that's just like, oh man, I think it will be. So, but track list, it's torn out from the notepad. You can see some things behind it still. We'll see how much this changes. You can recall The Life of Pablo, or you may recall The Life of Pablo. We got like 8 or 9 of these. And even when Ye announced Donda, back in 2020, he kept changing it. We saw like 5 orange sheets of paper over the course of 2 days. And then here, Randy from Live Nation, a text message exchange that was like, "Yay, not sure you read the above. However, we are running out of time to pay the vendors for the load-in. We need you to approve $2 million now, since the wire cutoff is in 15 minutes. This show needs to be filmed." Which gets into like a whole lot of things, right? It seems like this is pay the vendors for the load-in, which I guess the load-in would be getting the stadium set up. But then this show needs to be filmed. Seems like a separate conversation from the load-in. But maybe that's like a separate thought. Like, we're paying them, but the show also needs to be filmed, so we need to figure that out. The Donda listening parties were handled by Apple. And we do know that some of the Jesus is King stuff was like Revolt, which was the same channel that was doing Drink Champs. But it seems like now at this point, since Apple's not involved, who's filming it, who's streaming it, what's happening with all of that might be a little more up in the air. But Ye said, okay, I'll cut the check since Apple pulled on their streaming deal. Oh, yeah. So that's it. Yeah. It seems like Apple, also mad about all the platform stuff, pulled their streaming deal for the actual album listening party or concert that he's doing. So I love how Apple only sees artists in only one way. They'll sit with Daniel EK, but won't meet with Ye. I remember me and Verge will Daniel. I don't know who Daniel is. Is it Daniel Ek? Is it EK? In the club in Stockholm, and he told me he could tell I get more girls than him. What an anecdote. But yeah, I believe that story. I absolutely believe that story. But I'm guessing like how Apple only sees an artist in only one way. It's like there's an opportunity for a partnership in the concert, right? Even if there wasn't an opportunity for a partnership with the album release. But it's like saying that Apple only saw Ye as an album. And because the album's not going to be on Apple, they're pulling all the support for everything that he's doing. And then Ye posted Kanye West, Donda Experience Performance. So before it was like Donda Listening Party, but now it's an experience performance or experience and performance, right? 222, buy tickets at livenation.com. And we have like a few of these graphics, which is different, right? Before we were getting the very deep black coloration around everything, but now we're getting this, running low on ink style that kind of has this gray haze over the top of it. But still, the burning house continues to be an aesthetic. Ye had mentioned in one Instagram post that he's going back into the burning house as fighting for his family. But that continues to be like the dominant visual of Donda 2 so far. And he says, go to livenation.com to order tickets to my Donda 2 listening and Donda 1 performance this Tuesday. Oh, I didn't catch that. So it's Donda 2 listening and Donda 1 performance this Tuesday, February 22nd. So what? We're going to be listening to Donda 2 and then he's going to perform Donda 1, which I'm down for, right? But it will be curious. I mean, one of the major conversations around Donda was how impactful the features were. So you have a song like Okay Okay where Kanye has a verse and then there's other people verses. Jonah, Ye has a verse, but the song's split up evenly between him and the other features on the song. You have Praise God, one of the biggest songs from that album, and Ye's a very small percentage of that. You think about Jail, it's like evenly split between Ye and Jay-Z. It'll be interesting to see what songs he performs. And it's not like there's no way around that. He doesn't have Jay-Z there. He's in the past done that same thing where he just does his like first verse or first and second verses and then skips whoever the feature is. So it's not like the feature has to be there for him to perform his portion of the song and for that to still be exciting. But him performing Donda 1, I do think kind of points to the idea that there might be some kind of tour upcoming, right? Like, why learn all the Donda 1 songs to perform if you're not planning on performing them in more than one location, right? I wouldn't imagine this is it, and then there's nothing more. So, yeah. And then you would wonder if, like, he's going to do a tour in, like, 3 months that he might do Donda 1 and all of Donda 2. But it also makes me wonder how long Donda... I mean, wait, we have the track list. It's 22 songs. But... wow, that's going to be okay. Because I'm thinking, like, I clearly did not read this before making this video. You were getting, like, off-the-cuff thoughts in the moment as I'm working through this. The thing that's jumping out to me is time, right? Because you look at how long it takes to listen to Donda, like an hour and 20 minutes on the non-deluxe version. And if you start to include the songs from the deluxe, not all the part twos, right? But Life of the Party, Never Abandon Your Family, Up from the Ashes. Now we're suddenly at the like hour and 30 minutes, hour and 40 minutes. So for this to be 22 songs, Donda 2, and we're going to be listening to the full album, you're imagining that's another hour and 20 minutes. And then how long will the actual concert portion be? Is that going to be another 40 minutes? So we're looking at 2 hours? Are we looking at 3 hours? Ooh, Ooh, okay. I'm very curious how this will go. Very excited. All right. And then that's the post we were looking at earlier. And then there's still a lot of tickets available. And it was like this for the Free Larry Hoover concert too, right? Up until the day of the show, there were still tickets available. And then these all started kind of selling out as people decided like, okay. And as ticket prices kind of came down a little bit, even these tickets were $300. When I was first seeing it. And like these tickets, like right around here, were like $600. So ticket prices have dropped a fair amount up in the nosebleeds, right? You're seeing $45 for tickets, $176, $95, $142. But you can see some of these areas winding down, right? 6 tickets available, 28 tickets available. So I imagine over the next couple of days, as people really start to believe, oh, hey, this is happening, and decide that they're going to Miami, and even people in Miami are like, all right, like there's still tickets available, I'm going to go. We'll see this, some of the tickets be snatched up. But the first listening party went a little bit faster, and then listening parties 2 and 3 were a little bit slower. And we'll see what happens with this one. But tickets, if you are interested in going and want to make a last minute purchase, are still available, clearly. And then lastly, we have this. There's been talk of a City of God's music video dropping. And here we go with seeing like the first. Oh, no, it's the full video. Oh, I didn't watch this either. I didn't realize it was the full video. Okay. That's cool. And it's using like the Donda aesthetic, right? Even though it seemed like this was going to be like a Fabio song, we can see that it's that like black aesthetic, that dark midnight aesthetic. It feels very fitting for Donda, or this Balenciaga driven era of Ye for the last like year. But you have these really beautiful dramatic shots like this. I'm still geeking out over the Heaven and Hell music video, but this is cool. This is good energy, especially like this. It reminds me of Under the Skin, which is such a bizarre movie, but Scarlett Johansson plays an alien that is like luring men to send as food to her like alien colony, but they sink into this giant like nothingness, into this void that's kind of like this. Anyway, most people will make that connection, I think. Right. Anyway, I'll have to watch all the music video, but that's cool that it's officially out. And you can see, some of the usual suspects here just celebrating that the music video is out. But that's it for the rundown for today. Maybe we should give one more look just in case to make sure Ye hasn't posted something. Okay, he has not. So as there's more information heading into 222 and the release of Donda 2, we'll keep you posted. And then, of course, we're going down to Miami, and we'll be making a lot of content as we kind of figure out what is going on with potentially interviewing Ye. So thanks for watching. Until next time, stay wavy and keep it loopy. Cheers.